Caleb Dressel came into these Tokyo 2020 games with the weight of the American nation on his shoulders, and particularly the weight of having to replace the legend Michael Phelps in the swimming pool for Team USA. Now, as you mentioned, Team USA are actually underperforming so far in terms of the medals that they were expected to bring in, more so from disappointing results perhaps from superstar Katie Ledecky in the women's category. But in the men's, certainly Caleb Dressel has won every single race that he's participated in. He won the men's 4x100 relay gold. He's now won the 100-meter relay gold with a new Olympic record of 47.02 seconds. Caleb Dressel, who throughout the competition and ahead of the competition was compared to Michael Phelps, and even though the 25-year-old played down those comparisons, there was something Phelps-esque, shall we say, about those first 50 meters, particularly in the final, where he seemed to swallow up the water as then he raced clear for gold and pretty untouched, to be honest. So Caleb Dressel still has two opportunities to win golds here in the 100-meter butterfly and in the 50-meter freestyle finals. The man who was elected twice as the male athlete of the year by FINA and still has a little bit of work to do in Tokyo 2020 if he wants to really and fully live up to the expectations that had been placed upon him.
Well, meanwhile, one of the latest competitions to conclude there, Simon, it's the final of the 4x200 relay in the women's, and we see China setting a new record with its win.
Zhang Yang, Ma Hongtang, Yufei Zhang and Bingji Li with an absolutely stunning swim to beat Australia, who many thought that they were unbeatable, the super favourites, the Australians, over this distance, with Ariane Titsmus, the Olympic champion in the 200-meter freestyle, also taking part. But perhaps she was a little bit tired because she didn't make the difference needed on that first split, and the Chinese, who were behind the Australians until midway through the third split, then took the race away from the Australians, coming over to win a historic gold medal. An absolutely fantastic race, and it must be said that Australia finished third behind the United States of America, with Katie Ledecky possibly producing her best swim yet at these Tokyo 2020 games, to almost catch up 10 meters on her opponents and touch the board just after the Chinese. Not quite enough for the United States, but certainly that swim belonging to China, an absolutely fantastic results for them, and another goal for China, who have been brilliant in at the Tokyo Aquatic Centre since the start of these Olympic Games. A word on France, who finished last of that race. France, who are still yet to win one single medal at the Tokyo Aquatic Centre. They are in a real possible danger of finishing these Olympics without winning a single medal in the swimming events, which would be an absolute disaster. 5 years ago in Rio, only 2 medals for the French delegation. The last time they failed to win anything in swimming was back in the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. There was a little bit of good news for France, however, with Laura Tarantola and Claire Bove, who finished second of the women's lightweight double sculls to claim silver behind Italy, who took gold. A very young pair of French rowers there who did bring a lot of joy. France, who are performing very well in the rowing sections, aviron as it's called in France, which is one of the most popular sports. So good news for France there, but certainly swimming is raising some worries for France ahead of course, the home Olympics at Paris 2024.
Simon Harding, France 24 sports editor in Tokyo. Thanks very much indeed for that roundup, the latest there.